Hi, I'm Isha, and I used to be fat.
Hi guys, मेरा नाम ईशा है and for the next 100 days I'm signing up to be your dietitian, personal trainer and life coach so that by the 100th day you will be lighter by at least 12 to 15 kilos.
मेरा नाम गोलू नहीं है, मेरा नाम गायत्री है, गायत्री। मैं 20 किलो ओवरवेट क्या हो गई? मेरे सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट की धज्जियां उड़ा दी आप लोगों ने। मैं सोचा पापा, सोचा कभी मेरे शब्द आड़े टेढ़े क्यों निकलते हैं, मैं ठीक से बोल क्यों नहीं पाती हूँ, मेरा नाम गोलू क्यों है, मैं गोलू हूँ क्यों, सोचा कभी?
Every girl who's ever struggled with body image issues should be able to find a little bit of herself in this scene. I know I definitely did. Because for most of us, it's not just about being overweight or carrying the extra kilos, but it's the hundreds and thousands of little moments and memories that quietly change the way we think about our own selves.
कुछ ठीक नहीं होगा जब तक तुम्हारा वेट रिड्यूस नहीं होता, कोई लड़का वड़का नहीं मिलने वाला तुम्हें। मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ ना नैना।
The jokes, the nicknames, the taunts, the clothes that never fit, the pictures that you always avoided, the compliments that you never received. All of this collectively gets stored in your mind in a folder called the mind of a fat girl.
You can go into a downward spiral. With that craziness in your mind and your body language. I think I was just hopeless at that time. I didn't think that there would be a better tomorrow.
A folder that gets created very early in your life and it almost quietly somehow never deletes itself ever.
The other girls were blonde and delicate, and I was a swarthy 6-year-old with sideburns. I so badly wanted to be like the popular girls, all sitting together, talking, eating their Wonder Bread sandwiches.
What's that? It's moussaka. Moose caca?
And that's the cruel part about trauma. It never stays where it was created. Years later, it will just quietly show up in moments which have absolutely nothing to do with your weight. Like someone just complimenting you for how good you look.
Like, see, I would have cried. I would have broken down completely. Like, you just said something so nice about me, and I'm not used to it. I can't take compliments. I'm very shy when it comes to all of that.
As someone who's actually been on this side of the spectrum as well, trust me, and I speak for myself, getting leaner has actually made me look better. And leave aside looking better, it's actually made me feel so much better about myself. The fact that all of us try so many times, so hard, just to get a couple of sizes smaller, speaks for the fact that putting all the outside pressure of appearance and size aside, we know that if we lose weight, we're going to look and feel a lot better than we do today. The internet just makes weight loss look so complicated and hard, as if there's some secret formulas, shortcuts and products, of course, that apparently only a few people know about. But the truth is that the rules of the game of weight loss are surprisingly fair. So whether you're from the Ambani family or a commoner like you and I, all of us will have to jhak maar ke A, be in a calorie deficit, B, move, and C, be morbidly consistent. And these secrets were never really a secrets per se. It's just that the truth as well as the consistency part of things was always played around with. But if everyone knew and truly believed that weight loss is this insanely simple, then how do you think the weight loss industry would have managed to become like a $221 billion industry? Of course, supported by the 9 trillion food industry and $9 trillion fashion industry, plus multiple affiliated ones. You see, confusion and self-doubt are highly profitable, and simplicity and self-belief are not. Which is where I firmly believe that we do not need any more information. You need one roadmap and one person who's probably been on both sides of the spectrum to handhold you through the journey, wherein you actually see results on your body so that you have enough drive and motivation to then carry on the journey for the rest of your life.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
Hi guys, मेरा नाम ईशा है and for the next 100 days I'm signing up to be your dietitian, personal trainer and life coach and share with you the most unfairly effective and absolutely non-BS roadmap so that by the 100th day you will be lighter by at least 12 to 15 kilos. Like, I don't want to brag, but I'm just going to put a few screenshots here. And so, if you trust me and follow the plan exactly how I'm telling you to, then just like the screenshots of the messages from some of my friends, you too will be able to watch magic happen. So, without wasting more time, let's go.
Before we begin, here are a few practical instructions that will help you get the most out of this series. First, follow this series from day 0 to 100 in the exact order it's designed. If you prefer, watch the first few episodes first to understand the system, but once you begin, follow the roadmap as intended. For every strategy I suggest, I'll be explaining the scientific, psychological, and practical reasoning behind it. Pay attention to those explanations, they'll help you make better decisions long after these 100 days are over. Now, the first 48 hours are usually the hardest while getting on a diet. Starting on a weekend gives you more control over your meals and helps you build momentum before the work week begins. July and August are actually better months to begin a weight loss transformation than January. They're quieter, low pressure months, making it much easier to build consistency before the festive season arrives. And finally, this framework is based on what has consistently worked for me. If you have a medical condition or unique circumstances, please adapt it accordingly.
Now, in this episode and the next one, we're going to talk about that part of your weight loss which is going to influence 80% of your entire transformation, which is your eating habits.
There is no shortcut to weight reduction. Obese people can lose weight and feel better by eating less food, but foods of high nutritive value.
I'll be sharing 2 simple low-cal diet plans that pack an unbelievable amount of nutrition. Pick one and make it your default way of eating for the next 20 days.
Now, before I share the veg and non-veg diet options, I need a promise from you that you will stop treating weight loss as the explore page of Instagram and start treating it as the Google Maps in your phone.
The explore page has one job, which is to arrest your attention. Every tile is designed to tempt you into clicking the next one. And Google Maps has the exact opposite job. Once you've chosen a destination, every instruction exists to get you there.
Now, Instagram doesn't care what you learn or what you get traumatized with while being on the platform, as long as you stick around with all the shock and attention grabbing content that gets thrown at you, they make money.
The exact same thing happens in weight loss. As long as you're still searching for the next recipe, supplement, shortcut, miracle diet, someone is making money. And meanwhile, you're the one losing time, effort, and another chance to actually see results. You see, every new substitute, alternative, and better option keeps you exploring instead of executing. And that's exactly why there are endless videos trying to tell you what to replace, what to swap, and what to try next. And Maps doesn't work like that. It doesn't ask you to rethink the route every few minutes. Once you've made a choice, it simply helps you complete the journey. And that's exactly how I want you to approach these diets as well. For the next 20 days, there are no substitutes, alternatives, or negotiations. Not because these ingredients are magical, but because learning to follow one route is. The first diet I'm going to recommend is the egg diet. In my experience of dieting over the last 12 years, this is still one of the simplest, healthiest, and most consistently effective weight loss diets I've come across. But more important than memorizing the diet itself is understanding why it works. Because once you understand the principles behind it, you'll know how to use them long after these 100 days are over. And that's exactly what I want this series to teach you. And before my vegetarian friends think I've forgotten about you, there's a reason I'm introducing the egg diet first. Whether you're a vegetarian or not, I want you to understand why this diet works so incredibly well, because it will help you appreciate the vegetarian version even more. Here's what your day looks like. For breakfast, you'll have 3 boiled eggs and a cup of green tea. For lunch, you'll have another 3 boiled eggs, 1 apple and a cup of green tea. In the evening, have 1 apple along with another cup of green tea. And if you get hungry before dinner, snack on cucumbers and carrots. They're low in calories, filling, and will comfortably get you through to your last meal. Now, diets like these can sometimes lead to a little taste fatigue, especially when you're eating eggs and cucumbers every day. The healthiest way to combat that is to simply make them chaat style, like be generous with lemon, pink salt, black pepper, and a little garam masala. It keeps the diet interesting without adding any meaningful calories. For dinner, you'll have a bowl of oatmeal porridge, add rolled oats, milk, a little water, half a chopped apple, a couple of chopped prunes, a pinch of cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground flaxseed, and a few chopped almonds to a saucepan. Let everything cook together for a few minutes until the oats are done and the porridge turns thick and creamy. Cooking the apple and prunes along with the oats lets their natural sweetness spread through the entire porridge, so you rarely need any extra sweetener. If you like, you can add a teaspoon of honey at the end, although I usually skip it because the fruit makes it sweet enough. After eating eggs through the day, this honestly feels like a dessert. At roughly 900 calories, this diet delivers the one thing every successful weight loss diet must: an effective calorie deficit. Alongside that, you get about 45 grams of protein, fiber, healthy fats, and all the essential nutrition needed to keep you full and make this diet remarkably easy to stick to. That's what I call nutritional efficiency. Maximum nutrition for a very, very small calorie budget.
Coincidentally, as I record this video, I'm on season 10 of my egg diet. Like I mentioned earlier, I do it twice a year, every year since so many years. And believe me, it's been like the best thing for me every time the season changes or I hit a weight plateau.
Tactical diets work best when they're deployed strategically, not lived on.
Minus all the nutritional benefits that I've already mentioned earlier, three of the greatest benefits that I see into this diet is: first, it gives you results. Like I always say, there is no motivation better than actually see yourself literally going down in size and shape, which this diet gives you in the fastest way possible. Second, it completely destroys decision fatigue. Like I said,
We've developed an Instagram explore mindset. We get bored far too quickly, and that's exactly why so many diets are abandoned within the first few days itself.
you only have to go from point A to B. You have 5 ingredients in your kitchen. You are sorted for a good week. You do not need any apps, delivery, food, options, nothing. जो है, यही है. Live with it, lose weight. And third is this unfair advantage that eggs give.
That they're incredibly filling. Protein takes longer to digest than carbs, helping you stay fuller for longer and making it much easier to maintain a calorie deficit without constantly thinking about food.
Like cucumbers and carrots are permitted to be eaten as snacks in case you get hungry, but at least I personally have never had to take them.
Now let's move on to the vegetarian diet. There's a very good reason I've placed it second, and it all comes down to one fundamental challenge.
Hot take, it's a lot harder to lose weight as a vegetarian as compared to being a non-vegetarian.
And for a change, it's got nothing to do with your willpower.
The most important thing as far as weight loss goes is calorie deficit. And the two things which will make sure that you lose weight right and not start looking like a raisin is: one, feeling full, and second, having sufficient protein. And the ratio of getting low calories with sufficient amount of protein is insanely hard as far as vegetarian options are concerned.
This is probably the closest a veg diet can come to matching everything the egg diet offers. Learn the diet, but remember, the observations matter far more than this menu itself. I'll put the exact measurements, recipes, and a complete follow-along veg diet video in the description below. Rather than spending our time cooking here, I'd much rather spend it helping you understand why this diet works. Breakfast is sweet potato chaat with an apple and green tea. Dry roast diced sweet potato, season it with spices of your choice, and top it with carrots, cucumber, and fresh coriander. Lunch is carrot oats raita with green tea. Dry roast and powder rolled oats, then mix them with curd, grated carrots, roasted cumin, and pink salt. Add a little water if you prefer a thinner and more voluminous consistency. The evening snack would be kala chana chaat. Prepare it exactly the way you normally would, with boiled kala chana, chopped veggies, lemon juice, and your favorite spices. And dinner is the same oatmeal porridge from the egg diet. If you've forgotten the recipe, you'll find the link in the description below with the complete veg diet video as well. At roughly about 950 calories, this diet delivers almost the same amount of protein like the egg diet. Because veg protein sources don't naturally behave like eggs, this diet uses a completely different strategy to achieve a very similar result.
So the three things that I love about this diet so much is: first, you're just eating so much only for 900 calories and getting the same amount of protein like the egg diet. There could possibly not be a better combination of protein is to calories is to results than this one. Number two, the simplicity of this diet. Dude, once you get all of this inside, you meal prep and then you're sorted for the week, literally. And third, if you're a girl who's working or studying or has to do her ghar ka kaam by herself, you need energy. You cannot be lying for the rest of the day thinking that, oh, I'm on keto, sheeto, and with the kala chana chaat, with the sweet potato, with the oatmeal, it's just going to give you so much of strength that even being on a 900 calories diet, you will never feel energy deficient.
One last instruction: for this diet to work exactly as intended, your measurements need to be ridiculously accurate.
Please be as mindful of every gram of thing that you're eating at least for next 100 days as much as you are about every inch of your blouse with your tailor. Like my tailor dreads me, okay? The moment he just sees me walk also in his direction, no, he's just like, Gaya. Then he also starts having anxiety.
2,000 years later.
Just because you had like a bad hour or a day, do not try increasing or decreasing anything. Stick to the maps.
Research shows that women are more likely to abandon diets sooner and faster than men. And contrary to popular belief, it has very little to do with willpower. You see, women's bodies are already dealing with hormones, water retention, and digestive changes. Just add a calorie deficit on top of that, and it's easy to mistake your body's normal adjustment for a diet that's not working.
And know that whenever you choose to be on a diet, your body will be at a heightened sense of discomfort and even more heightened sense of awareness of this discomfort. To escape this situation, it will do whatever it takes to send SOS signals for you to just run away from it.
Over the years, I've realized that the biggest reason people quit diets is not the diet itself. It's a handful of invisible problems that nobody warns them about. Through years of trial and error, I found some simple solutions to each one. They won't eliminate the discomfort of dieting, but they'll make it dramatically easier to stay consistent until the job gets done.
It's literally your body just telling you that no, I do not want to do it.
Now, I firmly believe that whenever life gives you a choice between two difficult options, choose the one that moves you forward. Dieting is no different. These invisible partners won't make the journey comfortable, but be rest assured they'll make it far easier to finish.
So remember Alia's episode from Latent? She said this.
मेरा पानी का बोतल है
अच्छा आप ये हमारा नॉर्मल लोगों का पानी नहीं पीते हो क्या
में कुछ एक स्पेशल इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स है so I don't pass out with fear.
Electrolyte water is simply water with added minerals that help your body use it better. That's why I had once recommended Gatorade in the Beauty Tricks video. But during a calorie deficit, drinking water and actually using that water don't remain the same thing.
And while of course Alia is having the expensive electrolyte water, the simplest way to make your normal water electrolyte water is one, always carry water and in that just add 2 pinches of pink Himalayan salt and keep sipping it. This will make sure that you are sufficiently salted so that you don't have like these mood swings and brain fogs which otherwise are very common as a tantrum thrown by the brain.
I know this is probably the 100th time you've heard me talk about constipation, but girl, you have no idea how much damage it's quietly doing to you or how much of it you've simply learned to live with. If you're a woman, constipation is one of the first things to go wrong when you start dieting. Your digestion slows down, your bowels become harder to pass, you feel bloated, heavier and irritable, and with your hormones already in the mix, things can get even worse. And the cruelest part, well, your weighing scale does not know the difference between body fat and the backlog still sitting inside your gut. It just shows you a number.
And I've never seen anyone complain about these legit issues that are actually the reasons why people will run away from the diet. Like, I've not seen anyone write on Instagram saying, oh, I'm constipated, oh, I'm bloated because of a diet. But collectively, we will just blame that the diet is bad, the diet is making me feel worse. I will not diet.
So just please start taking Safi. During a dieting phase, if your body tolerates it well, I personally take it twice a day. Once in the morning and once at night with lukewarm water. The idea is simple. Don't just deal with today's constipation, but help your body clear any backlog that's been building up as well. Trust me, this one habit can make dieting feel a whole lot easier. The third invisible partner is sleep. This is where your body does most of its recovery, repair, and a significant part of the work required to support fat loss as well. Sadly, dieting doesn't always make sleeping easy. A calorie deficit can leave you feeling physically uncomfortable, mentally alert, and emotionally unsettled. That's why so many people start sleeping poorly just when their body needs quality sleep the most. And when sleep suffers, everything else just starts slipping with it.
Being the anxious wreck that I am, I always have my sleep armor ready with me. Step 1, rub Amrutanjan on your feet. This works with the same principles as Reiki. Once your feet feel safe and warm, you will be able to drift into deeper sleep better and faster. You can also rub Amrutanjan on your traps and the back of your neck. This is where we store most of our emotional weight and tension. And you can seriously consider Himalayas Tagara. It is not a sleeping pill. It is a herbal aid to be able to drift into sleep deeper and faster.
From Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
What is it?
Water.
Water.
Lots of water.
If I could bottle one legal performance enhancing drug for fat loss, it would be water. Whether you have it piping hot, ice cold, sparkling, or plain, it's probably the most effective fat burner you'll ever own. Practically free and 0 calories.
In fact, why just a fat burner? I will happily put like every single marketing sticker that gets put on these fitness and beauty products. Like this is anti-suppressant, meal replacement, beauty elixir, skincare, energy booster, antidepressant, anti-bloating, everything. All in all, just in a bottle of water.
Look, I'm not here to sell you water. I'm here to teach you how to weaponize it. Because during a calorie deficit, the way you use water can make the difference between constantly fighting your body and finally getting your body to work with you.
Especially when you're dieting, because during that time your body gets exposed to this one thing that it hates the most, which is vacuum or empty space. So there'll be empty space on your plate because you're eating less, and for the same reason your stomach is going to be emptier.
You see, thirst often dresses up as hunger. The biggest mistake is not eating when you're hungry, it's assuming that every hunger signal deserves food. And remember how I told you not to choose between good or bad, but to choose whatever takes you forward? Well, before you choose calories, choose water. Aggressively, front-loaded, let water earn the right to prove you're actually hungry.
So, oftentimes we just look at what we can read in the preview pane of like an email or a DM and assume the best or worse, wherein when you actually get inside the message, it can mean entirely different. In the same way, what happens is that the stomach just sends an SOS message that, oh my God, I'm empty. So the brain just reads the preview message.
And that's exactly how a misunderstood signal turns into 1,000 unnecessary calories. So stack the odds in your favor. Romanticize water, glamorize it, add lemon, mint, salt or soda. Just don't add calories. And yes, sometimes you'll genuinely be hungry, like a 900 calorie diet is not supposed to feel effortless.
This, of course, is a very likely case, but especially when you're on a diet, you just have to one stop assume that even if you're hungry, the preview pane and the message inside is that you're thirsty, and you just have to keep drinking water. Second, consider filling up the empty space in your stomach before you start looking at the calories.
Here's another psychological trick I've learned over the years. Your body may eat with its stomach, but your mind eats with its eyes. If you can make the exact same calories occupy more space, look more abundant, and last longer on your plate, the meal automatically feels more satisfying. That's why I intentionally dilute almost everything I eat. More water in my oats, more water in my raita, thinner dals, bigger soups. The nutrition doesn't change, the calories don't change, but the experience of eating changes completely. And when you're trying to survive on 900 calories, experience matters just as much as nutrition. Next, start eating ice cubes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it works. You see, it's an old modeling trick that survived for a reason. When your mouth gets bored long before your stomach gets hungry, don't always feed the craving. confuse it. Freeze lemon water, mint water, or lightly salted water into ice cubes and let your brain enjoy the sensation without paying for it in calories, and in process even get rid of your anxiety. And finally, girls, my all-time favorite fashion, beauty, fitness and fat loss hack is embarrassingly simple. Fall hopelessly in love with a water bottle you'll never want to put down. Trust me, it will keep your stomach fuller, your skin happier, and somehow you'll even get all the compliments on it.
You know, there's a reason why Hailey Bieber stuck her lip balm at the back of that phone cover, because the more number of times you'll carry it, see it in the mirror selfies and stuff, you're going to apply it more often and the brand gets visibility. With the same logic, if you have a good looking water bottle by your side, you will drink more water. If nothing, no, a lot of us have social anxiety. I most certainly do. So then I will always have this around me because there's something to hold on to, and because I have nothing to do, instead of just doom scrolling, I will just like keep sipping water. So that, and with all the skincare money that I try helping you save, just invest in like good looking flasks and water bottles. Trust me, it will get noticed so much more than a lot of these makeup also that you invest in.
Exercise.
Here's a rule I wish more fitness experts spoke about, that in the entire movie of your fat loss journey, movement barely gets 20% of the screen time. Yet, somehow it's become the part we're taught to obsess over.
So like I said in the beginning, your eating habit is going to command 80% of your overall transformation. This is a lot of load for your body and your mind to carry, especially with the teething problems which are naturally going to come in within the first month.
I want you to respect the difficulty of surviving on 900 calories. It's already asking enough from your body and your mind, so don't even think about exercising. And listen, while we're at it, please calm down with the health trackers as well. If more numbers and digit screens would have made you leaner, none of us would have struggled with our weight. Remember Google Maps? One destination, one route. Right now, your only job is to stay on your diet. Everything else, definitely exercising, can wait. Without knowing you personally, I know there's still a mind of a fat girl living inside of you. It's already carrying years of disappointment, self-doubt and fear. Don't ask it to fight another battle. Protect it, be kind to it, tell it, not today. Today we only have one job, one destination, one route, which is diet.
Just spoil the brain saying that no movement. Believe me, the brain will feel so much safer that way, instead of just like putting on your Nikes and saying, chalo, let's, if all of this was not enough, we'll start exercising also.
Now don't get me wrong, your brain is eventually going to get bored. That's what brains do. The trick is not to fight that boredom with military discipline, it's to outsmart it with playfulness. So if you feel like moving, keep it simple. Walk barefoot on grass if you can. Feel the ground, get some sunlight, let movement become something your brain enjoys, not another task it has to survive. And once you start feeling a little safer, which only you can decide for yourself,
I would want you to start prepping for like the figure shape shifting, which will best come with hula hoop.
Hula hoop directly targets a woman's torso, the one part of your body that has the greatest influence to shape your hourglass figure. As someone who was not naturally born with one, I can tell you that this simple, playful movement has transformed my body over the years. Do not expect overnight results. This will take time. But think of this as an early investment, the one that requires very little energy, lifts your mood and quietly starts preparing your body for the shape you're working towards, which will take time. And by the time your diet reveals a smaller body, this movement will already have laid the foundation that everyone else will still be searching for in a belly fat burner drink. The biggest giveaway of an unshaped body is rarely your arms or legs, but it's your torso. Ironically, the more insecure we become of our midsection,
we tend to move our torso a lot less. Like hands and legs will still move, but this part will mostly remain stagnant. Now this is like empty real estate, right? So here is where illegal occupancy and gravity takes over. So over time the boobs will sag, and over time the lower belly will just form like this strange bump.
So while your diet works on making you look smaller, your job is to make your torso look longer. Sometimes the quickest way to make your belly look less noticeable is not to lose all the fat first, it is to change the proportions around it.
A lot of time when we stress about the belly fat, no, it's not just got to do with the amount of fat that is resting around your belly button, but the real estate which has naturally shrunk. And because of this shrinking, it shows a lot more awkwardly.
Now, I don't want to talk much about exercise here because that's not our priority right now, but I do want you to start waking up your torso. The muscles that shape your waist take time to develop, and endless ab workouts will not get you there overnight. Start simple. 100 slow hula hoop circles without the ring in one direction and then the other. You're not burning calories, but you're teaching your torso to move again. Over time, that movement creates the illusion of a longer, more defined waist, the same principle great dancers use to make their waist look effortlessly elegant, even if they carry a little bit of belly fat.
Try giving the illusion of the real estate, which is your waist or torso, being longer, then the belly fat cut tension sort of just reduces a lot more.
I've always believed that weight loss is a mental challenge disguised as a physical one. Losing fat is not the difficult part, but protecting your decisions that leads to it is. And over the next 100 days, that's going to be your number one priority.
And you know, the day you'll actually decide to get on a diet, suddenly everyone around you will become like a weight loss expert, and they'll put their insecurities and fear in you.
You see, fear is a great controller, whether it comes dressed as concern or disguised as advice. Don't let someone else's fear decide the future of your body.
Are you're too old, you're too busy, you got work, you got kids. Are you gain weight after you leave the diet? There's some offer running on Swiggy, Zomato. Are that person will feel bad if you don't eat dinner at their place.
If you truly want to transform, I'm going to ask you to place your faith in two places: yourself and the higher power watching you. Step out of your comfort zone. It will get messy, it will get uncomfortable, but keep walking. Remember Google Maps?
I just need to go from point A to point B. Everything will come in your way, and I know it just sounds very tech talkish. Take a trust fall on yourself.
First, take a picture in which you look your heaviest, place it next to a real photo or an AI generated version of your dream body. Print them together as your before and after, then put it wherever your eyes naturally go. Your fridge, your study table, your wardrobe.
And your phone wallpaper. Because this visible reminder of what you're working towards is just going to help you so much. You have no idea. Second, keep this your best kept secret. Exactly like expecting mothers tell no one and go underground in their first trimester. Exactly for that reasons. Nazar bolo, protection bolo, vulnerability bolo, fear bolo. Do not let anyone know. As long as people do not know, you will not get influenced and you will stay protected, safe, and get through the hardest part of your journey, which is the initiation.
Third, take one progress picture every day. Same mirror, same lighting, same clothes or no clothes, same pose. Keep them in one folder on your phone. You see, progress is easier to trust when you can actually see it.
Fourth, you need to constantly remind your brain that you're doing this hard thing to look better.
Weight loss is delayed gratification. You'll spend weeks doing difficult things before the mirror starts rewarding you. Which is why this part of you that's tired, insecure, and wants to quit needs constant reminders that all of this effort is taking you towards something you wanted so badly, which is to look and feel more attractive. That's not vanity, it's one of the most deeply human desires we have. So don't make your brain wait months for its first reward. Every week, just buy yourself one tiny thing that makes you feel better about the way you look. A pair of earrings, a lip gloss, a hair accessory. Nothing expensive, just enough to remind yourself that you're already becoming the woman you're working so hard to be.
This, once the wiring is done, will help you stay not just consistent but then aim for perfection.
Finally, and literally the most important thing you need to do for next 100 days is to romanticize the process. Not the finish line, but the process. because this journey is going to be messy, uncomfortable, and very ugly. If you wait until you're thin to celebrate yourself, you'll spend the entire journey feeling like you're not enough. One regret I'll always have is that I did not document my own journey enough. I hate the fact that I only have a handful of pictures from the days I was struggling the most. Those were the days that deserve to be remembered because they built everything that came after. So take the pictures, journal if that's your thing, dress up even if you do not feel like it, wear the earrings, wash your hair, carry the cute water bottle, put on the lip gloss, create a private Instagram page if you want, or just keep a folder on your phone. I don't care how you do it, just don't disappear while you're transforming. Because one day you'll look back at these 100 days and realize that they were never just about losing weight, they were about becoming someone who chose herself every single day against all odds. Your after pictures will only be meaningful because you gave yourself enough before pictures to compare them to.
So girls, this was the first episode of the I'm Gonna Be Your Personal Trainer series. In case you've got any doubts or questions, please ask them in the comments. I will do everything it takes to help you in every way that I can. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.